Seriously, did you actually think I was going to cop out of the prompts with a stupid joke instead? Come on, you guys know me better than that. Enjoy the video, and leave it a like, obviously. Well, what's up guys, Mike here. So today we're talking about Madolche's with a deck profile. So I went to a box tournament this past weekend, and decided to take Madolche because I thought that, just like a Nat, it was very underrated and still amazing. In addition, I wanted to see how it fared against some of the newer decks. Unfortunately, I didn't end up winning the whole thing. I got 3rd place. But, you know, I did lose to, like, the worst matchup I could have, being Spellbooks, which I can explain in another video. It's basically all about tempo and always having fate. Just really screws with my combo deck. So since it went really well for me, I thought I'd show you guys a deck profile and a little bit about how to do the best wombo combo the deck basically has. And in addition, afterwards, give you my thoughts on how it works against the other matchups and going into this format. So, without further ado, over to me. Alright guys, so let's get into this deck profile. Now obviously the most important thing about running this deck is having a Doom Caliber mat. Love you, baby. So let's start out with one of the most important cards of the deck, Madolche Mageling, which we're playing 3 copies of. Now when this card is normal summon, you get to search for a Madolche monster from your deck. It's basically Stratos, but better. Why? Not because there's 3, because it got damn titties! Next, you got 3 copies of Madolche Angeli. This is the literally best floater printed since Tengu. This card lets you tribute it to special summon another Madolche from the deck. That Madolche monster cannot be destroyed by battle. However, it does get shuffled back into your deck during your next end phase. But, you know, basically pretty good floater. Why, you may ask? Because we got the next card. 3 copies of Madolche Hootcake. Madolche Hootcake lets you target a Madolche monster in your graveyard. After that, you get to banish said monster and special summon a Madolche monster from the deck. Now, what will you special summon, you may ask? Well, you probably want to do this next guy. We're running 2 copies of Madolche Messengelato. Now, Madolche Messengelato has an ability that when it's special summoned, if you control a beast-type Madolche monster, when it's special summoned, and when this effect begins to resolve, you get to search your deck for a Madolche, spell, or trap card. Now, another important Madolche monster to the deck is Madolche Mufel, which we're only playing 1 of, but still important. It's basically a 6 Samurai Kaigeki. When it's normal summon, spell summon a Madolche monster from your hand. Now, for the non-Madolche monsters, we're playing the hand jobs. 2 Fire Hand and 2 Ice Hand. Cards basically just serve as good floaters, Hootcake fodder, and, you know, removal. And removal is good. And finally, we're playing 2 copies of Maxi. Now, I've always said Maxi is the best hand trap in the game, because at the best, it can be a +5. At the worst, it's a 1-for-1. Now, onto the spell and trap cards of the deck. First, we're playing 2 copies of Madolche Ticket. Now, when a Madolche card or cards are being sent to your hand or deck by a card effect, it allows you to search your deck for a Madolche monster. Now, this is a mandatory effect, meaning you can't use it later. So, when you're comboing off, make sure you don't activate this card too early or too late. Now, this does allow your opponent to force you to search when they know you may not have the card you want to search for. Say you have a Madolche Hootcake on the field, and this is your last Hootcake. They might attack your Madolche Messengelato first and kill it, forcing you to search for a card that isn't Hootcake. Whereby, if it went shuffled back into the deck by destroying this, you could search this Hootcake back out. In addition, the card's just the best one in my opinion, because it lets you get out of bad hands by actually getting better monsters. It doesn't actually generate the advantage, but it's really good. And its secondary effect, allowing you to special summon the search target if you control a Madolche Fairy-type monster, is pretty freaking sweet. Now you have the card that actually generates the advantage in the deck. 1 copy of Madolche Chateau. This gives 500 attack and defense to all Madolche monsters. Allows them to get shuffled back into the hand when they would go back to the deck by a monster effect. And also, when it's activated, you are forced to shuffle all Madolches in your graveyard back into your deck. So you could use this as a good thing to target Ticket, but it could also be a bad thing and leave you no targets for your special, awesome, super Hootcake. Hoot hoot! After that, we got 2 copies of Double Summon. Now, you have so many monsters in your deck, and they all do so well together, you want to run Double Summon, because it lets you get them out to the field better and combo off easier, because this is a combo deck. Then you're playing 3 copies of Upstart Goblin, because there's no other better cards to run in the deck. And finally, Darkle. because it's Dark Hole. Moving on to the trap lineup, we have one copy of Madolche Palooza. Now, when this trap card is activated, you get to special summon as many Madolche monsters from your hand as you want to the field. The drawback being, during the end phase, any of them that are left on the field get shuffled back into your deck. However, the fact that you can just literally dump your entire hand after your opponent says Torrential Tribute, or maybe just clears board through battle, or it's even defense measure, where if they do happen to get enough monsters to kill me, I can activate this for one stupid gelato that I don't want in my hand, save myself, and it gets back into the deck where it belongs. Next, you have two copies of Trap Stun. Now, Trap Stun is really good because, as I said, this is a combo deck, so there's two things you hate. Hand traps, and also back row. So you may say, why not wiretap? Wiretap doesn't work when the Gear Gia player says, set armor, set 4, pass. Because I'm pretty sure more than just one of those back row is live. So this shuts them down for the entire turn. Then you get two Fiendish Chains. Now, why Fiendish Chain over Breakthrough Skill? Well, obviously, Fiendish Chain is good right now because of monster effects. Things like continuous effects, like Shadow Window is a big problem for this deck. But also, it's better than Breakthrough Skill for this deck because of the fact that sometimes you need to leave a piece on board. You need, like, to keep one monster so you can combo up next turn. And the fact that it stops an attack just gives it more value. Next, get two copies of Blackhorn. Wasn't sure about keeping this in or not. You know, I wasn't sure how many people were going to be running the new meta, how many people were going to have last meta still because they couldn't build the decks or just choose to. So this was good last format, just decided to keep them in for the event. Next, three copies of Dimensional Prison. Now, I've advocated this card's goodness since forever, and I've always said that this card is better than Mirror Force, and now that it's at 3, I am so freaking happy. But one of my D prisons are not Ultra German, so I need to fix that now. So anyway, this card is better for multiple reasons. It gets rid of Shadow Window, which is terrible for this deck, and it's one of the only ways to really get rid of it in a good manner. Stops the Fire Hands from just utterly destroying your board. The Fire Hand Ice Hand combo, like turn 1 against this deck, when you like set up going like Angeli into Hoot Cake with Gelato with the field spell or the ticket and like 2 set pass, and like nothing else deals with those hands, like pretty much destroys you. So this card is really good. Also, in a format where everyone's advocating running Soul Charge, this guarantees the monster you're deprisoning, which is hopefully a really good monster, is not coming back to haunt you later. And then you just got the really good cards, Warning, Torrential Tribute, Bottomless Trap Hole. Same thing as Dark Hole, just really good cards. And now we're going to move on to the extra deck. So, starting with rank 4s, you got 2 copies of Tiramisu. Now, you detach material from this card. Target up to 2 Madolche cards in your graveyard. Now, note, just like Lumina and Red Ox, you already have to have a target in the graveyard. However, for the second target, it can be the material you detach. Anyway, once you made those targets, you shuffle those targets back to the deck upon resolution. And during resolution, sending 2 cards, or 1 card if you only shuffled 1 back, from their field to their deck. It's like Spell of Fate. So they change to the activation of the effect. As long as the effect resolves properly, you can shuffle other cards back into the deck. In addition, we have 1 copy of Heartland Draco. Then we have 101, because it's 101. 101 is never bad. Then we have Castle, because sometimes 101 is bad, but you didn't hear that from me. Then we got Exciton Knight. No! Rhapsody and Berserk, because gotta hate them Light Swarms. Black Ship of Corn, because it says hell no to the hands, and does damage. Dweller, because I hate mermaids. Shadows, Light Swarms, Dragons, other Madolche decks. Rang the Zero, because it's really good in the Bujin matchup, and in the mirror match, it's Cowboy, or game, bang bang. Then we got the rank 3s in Levier, which is important for comboing off and bringing back those Hoot Cake banished targets, and Invoker for comboing off release. And then Zenmains for sticky situations, and Alucard, because as we established, we hate back row. All day, day. Now for the sideboard, starting with the monsters, we play the 3rd Maxi for Sylvans, or just really good special summoning decks. By really good, I mean just wombo combo decks like my own deck. Also serves as Hoot Cake fodder, obviously. Same for this card, Didi Crow. Dragons, Lightsworn, anything you need graveyard cards to leave the graveyard, you play this. 2 Fossil Dyna, because it's really the only good way this deck has to beat Sylvans. Spells, we got 2 copies of Soul Release, because you activate and resolve this card and say, hello Lightsworn player, you basically just didn't have a turn. And that Solo MST, because Trapstar can't solve all your problems. And you got 2 copies of Debunk. Dragons, Mermails, 2 copies of Shadow Mirror for Shadows. And on the other side of that coin, 2 Lay Imprisoning Mirrors for Mujins, Satellar Knights, Lightsworn. And finally that 3rd Trap Stun for the Trap Heavy decks like Hat, Fat, and that'll just about do it. Now back over to me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave it a like if you did. As usual, I'll be in the comment section answering all your questions and stuff. Unless this goes up around ARGAC, in which case I'll be there. So, sorry, check me out on the stream with Trevor if I end up scrubbing out. And remember, as usual, if you want to be good at the game, you gotta have answers for days. Later, guys.